Hello, hello. Welcome. Welcome. Great to see you. We are right there on time, so we're going to go ahead and dive in. And Nikki is here as our producer today, and Nikki will let people in as they arrive. So today's presentation is called "Getting Buy-in: How to Secure Organizational Funding for Your Coach Training." So my hope for this presentation is that this is going to ignite a little spark or the next step of your journey to professional and personal brilliance. I personally believe that coaches have the power to create better leaders for a better world. And to get that done, coaches need more support and the world needs more coaches. So today, what I really hope is that this is going to unlock something for you so it takes you one more step along that journey to become a professional coach and the best coach that you can be. Now, not a week goes by that a potential student doesn't ask me a question like, um, Corey, how can you help me get my company to pay for my coach training? And I wonder what can I say to, they I wonder and they wonder, what can we say to convince those decision makers that they should pay for coach training? Um, So that's really what I want to talk about today. Sometimes companies think that you want to be trained or the person wants to be trained so that they can quit their job and start a business. And honestly, I wouldn't want to pay for that either, right? That's not really what it's all about. So from the many conversations that I have had, I am positive. I'm absolutely positive that the vast majority of people don't want to quit their jobs. They want to get better at the jobs that they have right now. So how about this instead? Make the case to your boss or the decision makers in your company that you want to become a manager who can use coaching as a leadership style and become an in-house coach. Become a manager who can use coaching as their primary, sort of their default communication style. So the reasons that your boss should consider for this are compelling. And I'm going to share with you tons and tons and tons of great research, like evidence-based information to really make the point that coach training is an excellent investment in the company. So I'm going to share it with you, and you can share it with your boss. And of course, we're going to have follow-up resources later that we'll send them to you with the replay that you can use as backup material. Now, by securing your employer's support, you're not only enhancing your own professional and personal growth, which helps you stay sharp and it helps you be the most effective leader that you can be, but as an in-house coach, also a manager who uses coaching as a leadership style, you're going to be able to make coaching accessible to the other people in your workplace, thus contributing significantly to your organization's success. Coach training isn't a pursuit with just a limited gain, limited just to you. Coach training is a strategic move both for your career and for your company because it's a move that's going to yield tangible benefits for both you and your workplace. Now, I'm going to dive deep into all of those details. But before I do, I just want to take a second to introduce myself for those of you who don't know me or who don't know me very well. So my name is Corry Robertson. I'm an ICF certified professional coach. So my letters are PCC. I'm also the founder, CEO, and director of education here at the Coaching Academy for Leaders, where we offer ICF accredited coach training programs. I'm a certified coach supervisor. I'm on the ICF Mentor Coach Registry. I'm a certified assessor at the ACC and PCC level. I'm also level 3 certified, which puts me on the pathway for my MCC, which is Master Certified Coach credential. So, in addition to training coaches, which is a huge and important endeavor in my life, I'm also a leadership development coach. So, I offer leadership development programs. I serve as a coach for executives and teams. And I've had the privilege to work with small local startups all the way through to some of the most iconic, well known companies in the world. And today we have Nikki with us. Nikki is our Chief Marketing Officer, and she's producing the webinar today. So if you have any questions or anything like that, just pop them in the chat, and Nikki will help facilitate that. So welcome, Nikki, and thank you for being here and helping out today. This is what we're going to cover today. I'm going to talk about what I know about the ROI of coaching, the return on investment, and also the return on expectation, the ROE. I intend to prove it to you that there's a huge ROI to coaching. And I hope when you leave, by the time you leave this presentation today, you are going to have a lot of data and a lot of a strategic approach for making the case to your boss so that they will sign off on your coach training. So I want you to be able to make the point that coaching is not just nice to have. It is very much a need to have in today's workplace, so that your boss will happily sign you up for coaching and maybe even give the opportunity to some of your colleagues to join you in that coach training as well. I'm going to show you the myriad of advantages and effective strategies to demonstrate the return on investment, so that as a coach, we'll talk about how as a coach, you're going to deliver significant impact to the organization, creating win-win scenarios for all the stakeholders. I'm going to explain what to look for in a legitimate coach training program to make sure that you get the access to the skills and the footing that is required to be an effective coach. And I'm going to share information about the impact that true coaching has on employee engagement. In addition to that, I'm going to give you some guidance on how to create a pitch deck for your manager, so that you can make the case in a really clean and professional way. And with the follow-up resources, you're going to actually receive that pitch deck. I've already written in it. Nikki and I have already made it for you as an example, but you can go in there and change it to make it just your own. But the bones are there and the case is there, and you can work with it to make it just how you need it to be. So what I would like for your boss to be enthusiastic about this strategic opportunity, and even thank you for taking the initiative to put yourself forward. My wish for you and everyone at your company is that you get to work at a company that embraces coaching culture. And this coaching culture is going to support your success and everyone else at your company, so that you and all of your colleagues thrive at during your workday. And I, hand on heart, and I've got the evidence to prove it, coaching can do that. Some executives may like the idea of democratizing coaching, but may not be willing to consider it because they assume that the price tag they just make an automatic assumption like, wow, that must be way too expensive for us. That's way out of our league. Now, that could potentially be true if you don't have the full picture for coaching culture strategy. Meaning, if a company were to think of bringing coaching in, or having coaches within the organization solely through the lens of hiring external coaches on contract basis so that everyone gets access to a private coach, then yes, that would be a big investment for sure. Bringing on external coaches on an external contract basis is awesome. Don't get me wrong. External coaches is an important part of coaching culture strategy. I myself am an external coach, and it's one third of one of three pieces of the solution. So maybe I just piqued your curiosity when I said that. So let me unpack that a little bit more so I can explain. There are three modalities to professional coaching and coaching culture. There's external coaches, people like myself, internal coaches, and managers who know how to use the coach approach, meaning managers who are trained to use coaching as a leadership style. So, in addition to external coaches as needed, the best coaching solution for a company is to also have those properly trained in house coaches and managers who are trained in coaching so that they can use coaching as a leadership style. So, an in house coach and a manager using coaching as a leadership style are different parts of that three-legged stool. So training managers in the coaching competencies so that they can use coaching as a leadership style, and having those internal coaches, so people who are trained to be coaches for their colleagues. So that's a three-pronged approach that creates a truly cost-effective coaching solution. Okay, now that that is said, let's go ahead and dive in. Why should your boss believe that this is a good investment to train you to become a coach? I'm going to draw from recent research in the field, starting with ICF research. So ICF, that is the International Coaching Federation. They're the global governing body of the coaching profession. So studies have indicated year over year that ICF coaches have the skill set to solve and even prevent many of the costly problems that plague the modern workplace. These studies report that coaching leads to improved communication. So, why do we want improved communication? Why should we care? So, improved communication leads to less conflict, fewer misunderstandings, more goodwill and collaboration, and faster results. Coaching improves self confidence. Why should we care? Confident employees are stronger, more dynamic, more energized, and more engaged. Coaching improves work life balance. Work life balance leads to happier, less stressed out employees. Additionally, the coaching cultures improve increased productivity. Productivity, of course, equates to increased profit. Increased well-being is another benefit of working with the coaching approach. Increased well-being translates to fewer sick days, less absenteeism, and less burnout. And then there's the optimization in performance, more efficient, more traction, less frustration. And this is all from the research. And the ICF has been doing massive research studies for years now. And this is repeated year after year. So there's more. I'm not even done yet. Coaching leads to expanded professional opportunities, and so that leads to better employee loyalty and engagement. Coaching improves business management strategies, so faster achievement of goals and objectives. And coaching leads to accelerated onboarding into new professional roles. So expedited productivity, less downtime, fewer mistakes, and less drag on resources. So all of these things together add up to solutions that save money and they make money. So no organization can or should afford to go without any of these things. Now let's take a look at just the first bullet point that I shared. So we just looked at three entire slides with all of these benefits that come from coaching. So let's just look at the first one as a deep dive. So the first one was improved communication. Improved communication leads to less conflict, fewer misunderstandings, more goodwill, collaboration that leads to faster results. So I shared with you some of the ICF research. Now let's take a look at a survey survey data from account temps. Now, account temps reported that on average, managers spend 18% of their time. So that's more than 7 hours a week or 9 weeks per year intervening in employee disputes. So if we look at the math on that a little bit, let's say one manager who makes $100,000 a year is spending 18% of their time mediating conflicts. That, when you put that into a numbers lens, that's $18,000 per year per manager. And that's just one side of the equation. Conflict always involves at least two people. That means not only is the manager losing valuable time, hence big money of the organizations, but the other employees are involved in this dispute too. So we can conservatively double that estimate to $36,000 per year per manager. Now let's expand that out. Right? We're talking about one manager. What if the company has 100 managers and they're all experiencing this phenomenon? That's $3.6 million spent annually just on managing conflict. Now that is one crazy high number. Now compare that to the average investment for tuition for coach training, which on average is $5,275 per person. If a coach can help just one manager reduce conflict by half, that would be a significant return on investment. Don't forget the whole rest, all the other things. I was just talking, this is just the numbers for conflict management. There were three entire slides on the benefits of coaching. So coaching yields so much more than improved conflict management. There is strong correlation between coaching and increased employee engagement, with 72% of respondents in the 2023 ICF and HCI report called Defining New Coaching Cultures. And this acknowledged the relationship between coaching and employee engagement. So HCI, by the way, is the Human Capital Institute, and International Coaching Federation and Human Capital Institute have also been partnering for years on research studies, great big huge studies. From the ICF report, it's also evident that employees at every level appreciate being coached, with high approval from senior executives and employees. Another report, a global survey by PricewaterhouseCoopers and with the Association Resource Center, report an average ROI of coaching 7 times the cost of employing the coach. Aren't these numbers just incredible? We talk about the ROI of coaching. We're not kidding. Okay. Now let's look at another angle, another really important angle, which I said I was going to touch on today, and that is quality training. So these results, this return on investment, this return on expectation, is coming from the work done by ICF certified coaches. These are people who have been trained by an ICF accredited coach training program. There is still to this day a lot of people out there referring to their work as coaching, putting out a shingle saying that they're coaches when they have no training. So none of this ROI, none of this factors those types of so-called coaches into the mix. These are all ICF trained coaches. And when we're talking about the importance of training, I think it's really important that we're clear that we're talking about ICF accredited coach training. When you're an ICF certified coach, you tap into a proven, replicable, evidence-based, multidisciplinary skill set that people appreciate and enjoy. Professional coaches are not running on their own idea of what they think coaching is or should be. It is truly a very, very intentional approach to the conversation. So just imagine a workforce where people enjoy collaborating in positive, future focused, and results oriented manner. And when I say positive, I don't mean like rainbows and unicorns and fireflies. That's not what I'm talking about. What I mean positive. What I mean is the results that we want. Positive meaning what is it that we do want versus what is it that we don't want. So positive, future focused, results oriented. That is the nature of a professional coaching conversation. And I hear this all the time. I hear it almost every day. Well, Corey, coaching is just part of my job. I've been doing it for so long. I can't imagine what coach training could do for me at this point. And the folks who come from that point of view, they often don't realize that coaching is a unique profession that's governed by the International Coaching Federation, which is a rigorous, self regulated professional body with over 60,000 members worldwide. And not just anybody gets to be a member of the ICF. You have to be at least enrolled in ICF accredited coach training to even apply to be a member. Used to be a long time ago that they would let anybody be a member, but not anymore. There's really strict requirements to even get to be a member. Many companies are leery about investing in coach training because the decision makers don't want to sink a lot of money into something that won't deliver results or won't deliver results consistently. And of course, that's 100% fair. This is why investing in ICF accredited coach training is as safe as gold. And we refer to the International Coaching Federation standard as the gold standard. It's that ICF certification, which is a qualification that is globally recognized and is truly the gold standard in this really, really high demand industry. As I was mentioning before, there are many self-proclaimed coach training programs on the market that have not undergone the rigors of the ICF accreditation process. I admit, as an ICF accredited training provider, it is a demanding process. And it's a time consuming process and it's a resource demanding process. So I understand why some training companies don't want to invest the time, the money, or the energy. But I can tell you for sure, without these logos, these are ICF logos that the ICF allows us to use in our materials once we have demonstrated to them that we uphold the standards. So without you seeing these logos, either on social profiles, websites, brochures, training materials, there is no way of knowing what is being taught inside those programs. But what is for sure is that you will not be getting the ICF core competencies that are getting all these proven results and this phenomenal ROI that I was referring to before. It's the ICF accredited coach training that ensures that you will be tapping into the methods that deliver replicable results. And by the way, fun fact, all faculty members of ICF accredited coach training programs are also ICF accredited coaches. And so anybody who is a faculty member in a coach training school also has to be an accredited coach themselves. They can have all kinds of other degrees and certifications behind them, but without being an ICF accredited coach, they don't qualify. They don't qualify to be on faculty. So this is really another indicator that when you're tapping into coaching culture and coach training for those people who work within that coaching culture, this is your way of knowing for sure that it's the real deal. This is what makes you set yourself apart as a professional with integrity. Coaching is, and I can't emphasize it enough, it's a powerful tool to develop employees and drive business success. A strong business case can be made for investing in coaching culture. The business and individual outcomes that come from coaching help demonstrate its business value. So here's some more proof of ROI. According to the ICF HCI study, among those who received coaching, a strong majority of 80% reported positive impact resulting from the coaching engagement, such as improved work performance, communication skills, productivity, well being, and business management strategies. The same study reported that 46% of respondents from organizations with strong coaching culture have higher revenue than their peer groups. And I've got more. Check this one out. The 2025 State of the Global Workforce Report, released by Gallup just last month, June 2026, revealed that 64% of employees are quiet quitting. They show up for work, but they are mentally and emotionally checked out. This means they're disengaged. 16% of employees are taking actions to directly harm the organization, undercutting its goals and opposing its leaders. So, this is what's known as active disengagement. So, this means that 80%, more than three quarters of the global workforce, is either disengaged or actively disengaged. That leaves 20% of the workforce doing most of the heavy lifting and compensating for the disengaged and actively disengaged. And there's a little bit more crummy news to add to that. The smallest group is doing the most amount of work, which is the fast pass ticket to burnout and adding to the numbers of the disengaged, because they burn out. They just can't handle it anymore, and then they start to quiet quit as well, because the disengaged and the actively disengaged tend to drag the highly engaged people down. So the ICF HCI research indicates a strong correlation between higher employee engagement and financial performance for coaching cultures. Organizations with strong coaching cultures report 61% of their employees are highly engaged. Now, managers are responsible for getting results through others, which can be challenging, if not darn near impossible, with a workforce that's disengaged. Those who lag in engagement find their teams also lagging, and their leadership careers are stagnating. Managers are often keen to take part in leadership development programs. However, their employer may be unwilling to invest the time, the money, or the energy. So, addressing these challenges by investing in genuine coach training has been proven to yield a significant ROI. Coach training is a win-win-win. Corporate learning has become an important tactic for winning the war on talent because it adds to the company's overall attractiveness and employer brand. On one side, executives may be willing to invest. However, they do need to know how that investment is going to yield the return on investment and return on expectations. And they're right to be cautious, as many training initiatives produce little or no return on investment. On the other side, ongoing development is important to people because everyone needs to be assured that their employer is not going to cause them to lose their employable edge or lose traction in their career. So, on the one hand, we've got the executives who are like, I'm willing to invest, but you got to prove it to me that I'm going to get an ROI. And then there are the employees who are saying, invest in me so that I don't lose my edge. And if you don't invest in me, I'm going to find somebody who will. And in the middle, we've got people in the HR field and learning and development professionals who are feeling the pressure to simultaneously implement great training that serves the employer's demand and tracks to the measurable results that the executives are demanding. Um, Employers often object to the time and money needed to invest in training initiatives and are even concerned that they're not going to get that ROI. And this is, of course, 100% understandable. And a big part of the reason leadership development programs fail to yield ROI is because coaching is missing. And this is the part between the learning and the doing. So there's the learning piece where you're in the training, and then there's the actual getting to the place where you can do what you were taught in the training. And in the middle is coaching. Having coaches on staff or managers who use coaching as a leadership style can greatly enhance the return on investment of all training programs that the company invests in. So it is right there a compound benefit. In the early days of coaching, so the coaching profession really gelled or started to gel back in the 90s. And back then, coaching was reserved exclusively, it seemed pretty much exclusively for executive leaders or high level professionals because it was perceived as expensive and therefore made only available as a perk to executives. But motivation to build a coaching culture started to emerge because companies who made the investment in executive coaching started to see that there was a massive strategic benefit. Coaches became strategic partners who could enhance the leadership effectiveness and support their clients in driving organizational performance. So even in those early days, it was proven the ROI was proven, and because coaching was yielding significant results. And when I have more history here for you, because this is not flavor of the month or the next best greatest thing. Professional coaching has been around now for long enough that it's got a proven track record. So looking back as far as 2001, study showed executive coaching produced 788% return on investment. The study noted that excluding the benefits from employee retention, a 529% ROI was produced. And another study of executive coaching realized an ROI of almost 6 times the cost of coaching. A little bit later, so the early research is more rare, of course, because it was just starting. People just started to we better look into this because there's some very interesting results coming from this field. So in the early days, there were much fewer studies. And now, of course, there are many more. So in 2003, the stock portfolios comprised of companies that spent aggressively on employee development outperformed the S&P 500 by 17 to 35%. Now, while these kinds of early results being experienced by executives all over the world, that was happening, over the years, the coaching profession evolved and gained recognition and the excellent reputation that professional coaching has today. Executives who had the experience of working with a professional coach soon wanted to ensure that the coaching approach was available throughout the ranks so that the same positive results could be scaled throughout the business. So the solutions became needed to overcome certain barriers. And so to make coaching more cost effective, um, and more accessible at scale without diluting its impact, trends that we still see today started to emerge. So, for example, trends like group and team coaching. So, one coach for a team of 8, let's say, or a group of 8. That helps. In-house coaching programs started to be offered, and these are like companies that was now offering uh, employees within the organization who could coach. And then a little bit later on came coaching platforms that could leverage technology to offer coaching at scale. And that was a really exciting time to be, part of the coaching profession when those big platforms started to show up. And that was called the democratization of coaching. And so here, the Coaching Academy for Leaders, we believe that organizations are very wise to embrace coaching as a basic communication skill. This means all team members, even those without direct reports, would have a foundation of coaching skills and a knowledge of leadership theories so that performance improvement and management becomes a two-way street between the leader and the employee. There's got to be, so in coaching culture, and this is my opinion, it's my observation, it's my experience. In a coaching culture, there must be a balance of energy by both the leader and the individuals on the team so that neither side feels like they're in a tug of war for results or resources. Everyone is talking the same language, so to speak. Um, so a little bit fast forward, more results, more research, more ROI of coaching in organizations. So that trend that started late 90s, turn of the millennium, continues to build momentum. So in 2015, by 2015, coaching now is proving to result in a median ROI of 7 times the initial investment, with 25% of coaching clients reporting an ROI of 10 to 49 times the cost. By 2018, coaching interventions showed a positive ROI ranging from 86 to 249%. Similarly, the ICF discovered that 86% of organizations saw an ROI with coaching engagements, and 96% of those who underwent executive coaching said they would do the process all over again. Another study conducted by the Human Capital Institute, along with the International Coaching Federation, says that coaching cultures was also found, that said that coaching culture also found to have contributed to 54% of high performing organizations, with notable indicators like senior leadership bench strength, high performer retention, and employer brand attraction. In their recent publication entitled Work-Life Coaching Report 2022, Retention Through Coaching, Randstad RiseSmart reveals how big disconnects between employees and organizations are fueling resignations and costing businesses millions of dollars in lost productivity and talent. Their research shows that when businesses are grappling with retention challenges, they may find long-term solutions in democratizing employee coaching programs. So I've got more to share as disclosed or as presented by positivepsychology.com. There are important practical applications resulting from coaching, such as leadership effectiveness. For example, executives who received 6 months of coaching increased their effectiveness by 55% when rated with their peers in 360-degree feedback surveys. Coaching has a positive effect on team effectiveness and productivity. And of course, coaching increases self-efficacy being an individual's belief that they will accomplish a task at hand. And it's a cognitive estimate of a person's own ability to perform. Okay, now I want to switch gears a little bit and get practical and take a look at this, zoom out on this irrefutable evidence that there is a significant and important return on investment of coaching. Now, you need to take this information back to your company and you need to present this case to your boss or your supervisor in order for them to sign off on your coach training. So next up, I'm going to share with you some strategies on how you can take this information that I'm sharing with you and share it with the decision maker that you have to present to. So first step is to make your case. So it's absolutely natural and expected for managers to be skeptical about certain training programs because their main priority is ensuring the company's employees are only exposed to environments aligned with organizational values and expectations. So, for that reason, employees need to be able to articulate their intention to invest in paid training to their boss because it demonstrates a proactive commitment to the personal and professional growth. So, to make that case, you first have to organize your thoughts, right? So, some important questions to think of before you make that presentation is, what is your goal? Ask yourself and write this down. What is your goal for your coach training? What makes your coach training important right now? How is you being trained as a coach going to benefit the company, right? We know how you probably know how it's going to benefit you, but be sure to frame it in a way of how is it going to benefit the company? How is it going to make your boss's life easier? How is it going to make the team's life easier? What will the long-term benefits be of you being trained as a coach for the team and the company? What will be included in the coach training program that you choose? And how do you know, how can you prove the results that this is going to yield for the company? I've just given you tons and tons of data, and you can use this. You can, if you're taking screenshots or you're taking the replay, and you can double check my my research. You can Google it and see for yourself. By gathering up all of this related information and clearly outlining the benefits of coach training, its alignment with company goals, and the potential positive impact it's going to have on job performance, you can really showcase your dedication to adding value, and it will reinforce your value as an asset to the organization. So it's really a strong, strong position to be in. So you've made you've prepared your thoughts, you're preparing your presentation. The next thing is to anticipate questions, because you're definitely going to get questions. And so you're going to have to address potential concerns, and you want to make sure you leave no doubt in the mind of your boss that you fully understand the goal of coaching and what it's bringing to the company, and how it's going to have that direct connection. You're going to be trained as a coach, and it's going to have what? It's going to do what for the company? This positive approach is going to reassure your boss. It's going to foster trust, and it's going to increase the likelihood of obtaining that support that you're looking for your training endeavor, but also future training endeavors, right? So here are some questions that you can expect from your boss and how to best answer them. So, for example, the question might come to you, how does this coach training align with the company's goals and needs? So, to effectively respond to this question, it's really important to emphasize the training's direct relevance. So, start by highlighting the specific skills, competencies, or knowledge that the program is going to equip you with, and then connect those skills to the company's objectives. So that means clearly articulate how your newfound capabilities will contribute to achieving the goals, solving challenges, or improving overall organizational performance. Providing concrete examples of how you enhance your skills can be applied further to solidify alignment, showcasing your commitment and driving success in alignment with the company's vision. So, for example, you might say something like, this coach training aligns directly with our company's goals. It focuses on developing leadership skills, improving communication, and enhancing team collaboration, all of which are essential for achieving our strategic objectives. By investing in this training, I aim to contribute more effectively to our team's success and help us meet our targets effectively. You are likely to be asked, what's the return on investment for this training and how will it benefit the company financially? So, in answering the question, it's really essential to convey a compelling and quantifiable perspective. You can use the stats that I've outlined in this webinar if that's going to help you. I think they're really good statistics, so feel welcome to help yourself. Explain that you can start applying your new coaching techniques as soon as training begins. And that's a fact for ICF accredited coach training programs. From the very get-go, you're going to start having skills that you can practice as soon as you get out of class, and you can go back to your desk and start applying what you're learning. The training lays out the foundation for substantial long-term gains, emphasize how the enhanced skills and knowledge will lead to increased efficiency, better decision-making, and improved problem solving, which are factors in contributing to reduced operational costs and increased productivity. Highlight potential scenarios where these improvements can translate to financial benefits, such as faster project completions, higher client satisfaction leading to client retention, or innovative solutions that open new revenue streams. By painting a clear picture of the training's potential financial impact, you underscore its value as an investment for the company's future prosperity. So, for example, you might say, the ROI of this training extends beyond financial gains, and long-term benefits are substantial. By improving my skills and performance, I'll be better positioned to contribute to revenue growth, cost savings, and enhance client satisfaction. Additionally, increased effectiveness as a team member will positively influence team productivity and morale. You might get the question, how will you balance your workload while attending this training? So addressing this question is really important because it's going to demonstrate your commitment to maintaining productivity and ensuring a smooth transition during your time when you're in your training class. So to ensure to answer effectively, outline a clear plan for workload management. This plan should include strategies for task delegation, setting clear priorities, and maintaining open communication with your team to ensure minimal disruption. Emphasize your proactive approach to mitigating potential challenges, reinforcing your dedication to personal growth and fulfilling your responsibilities to the highest standards. This provides reassurance to your employer and showcases your professionalism and organizational skills, which are valuable qualities in every workplace. So to solidify your case, although coaching is, sorry, did I miss a slide? No, sorry about that. I thought I skipped forward too much. Yeah, so to solidify your case, although coaching is a great way to hone your leadership skills, failing to acquire the best program can be just as damaging as having never undergone coach training at all. Subpar programs can lack the depth and tailored approach needed to deliver meaningful impact. So choosing a training program that genuinely aligns with organizational goals and fosters substantial ROI is, of course, it's non-negotiable, right? It's essential. So genuine coach training is designed to provide the results-oriented coach training, focusing on personalized development plans, effective communication, and problem-solving strategies tailored to individuals' needs. To help strengthen the case when presenting to managers, you really could emphasize the substantial disparities in coach program effectiveness. So gather enough research to compare the pros and cons of each coaching program that you're looking at, and underscore the importance of selecting coach training that yields significant results. And I can only speak for the ICF accredited coach training programs. Everything else to me is a huge risk because you do not know what you're getting in there. You run the risk of learning a method that was invented by somebody somewhere along the line, and it's not necessarily being used anywhere else other than the graduates. ICF accredited coach training, you can be sure that every coach from an ICF accredited coach training program has learned the same methodology. They have learned the same deep roots of the coaching approach. So you can bring on people from other coaches who have trained at other coach training schools and put them all in the same room, and they will have the same fundamental understanding of what coaching is and how to do it effectively. So, some in a summary, here's what you can share with your boss. Coaching is the answer to building an engaged workplace. Coaching fosters mutual respect and shared empowerment among generational employees. Coaching is a proven investment that yields significant ROI. Coaching positively impacts personal development. Coaching is instrumental in building trust and psychological safety in the workplace, and coaching helps improve employee engagement and performance. Once you become a coach, how do you use these skills to advance your career? So, coaching is a very high demand skill set, and there are ways to become a coach without ever having your own coaching business. You don't have to go into business for yourself and hang a shingle. You can have a very successful career under the employment of a big company or a small company. So you could set up coaching services within your company. You could add a coaching component to training and development programs. You can act as an in-house coach, also called an internal coach, which is a coach employed to be organizational coaches within the company. And you can be a manager who knows how to coach as a leadership style. So here at the Coaching Academy for Leaders, we really offer that hybrid of coach training. And I always suggest to my grads to keep their day jobs if they want to, of course. And they could, if they wanted to do a little coaching on the side, maybe evenings or weekends, our graduates are invited to join our bench of coaches. When you're presenting your case to your boss, make sure you have reached the exact training option that you want to pursue and the costs and the time involved. So, to give you a clear picture of what that might look like, I'm going to just show you a sneak peek from the Coaching Academy for Leaders, just as an example. So, for example, you might say that this program is intended for people who want to coach their colleagues within the organization. They want to become certified coaches for career advancement or coaching work within the organization. They are people who want to use coaching as a communication style at work, learn coaching as a leadership style, develop a coaching culture or contribute to a coaching culture within the company, and learn these coaching skills that create powerful transformations in their own lives as well as the lives of their colleagues. So I just want to share a few of the results that our students here at the Coaching Academy for Leaders have experienced recently. So these are all folks who are workplace coaches. So here's what Caitlin had to say. She said, "I cannot say enough amazing things about Corry, her team, and her program. What Corry and her faculty teach at the Coaching Academy for Leaders changes everything. It changed the way I lead at work, the way I parent my kids, and the way I interact with my husband and my loved ones. The competencies of presence and awareness, the art of truly listening and being curious, they are applicable across many roles and contexts in life. I cannot recommend her program enough." And Jada said, "Being a student at the Coaching Academy for Leaders has changed my life in so many ways. I can't recommend this program highly enough. The program is affordable, accessible, and grounded in research and professionalism. Not only that, but its foundations are rooted in compassion, deep humanity, community building, and generosity." So while you're here, I want to just share with you a little something that I think is important to know before you go. I do hope, and I'll stay on and I'll answer any questions if I didn't quite make the point clearly enough. But I do hope that this session was really helpful and insightful and inspiring to you. You are going to be receiving this presentation as a follow-up. And like I said, you're going to receive the pitch deck that we made. It's editable. It's already written. It's written like that just to show you an example. But you can change it up. So all of those recommendations I gave for making the case to your boss, you'll have a pitch deck as a resource for you. And of course, you can use that pitch deck for all the other things that you want to talk about within your organization. So the replay is going to come out tomorrow. So right now, and the timing is so great, we still have our early enrollment rates available. So right now, until midnight on June the 30th, you can save up to $1,475 for all of our cohorts being offered this fall and for winter 2027. So it's really a significant savings. So now's the time. Now's the time to dive in. So I was saying at the beginning, our mission is to support better leaders for a better world through coaching. And we cater to workplace leaders. So people who are really genuinely interested in coaching as a leadership style, coaching culture, executive coaching. Our school is devoted to people like you. If this session has sparked anything in you, these are the cohorts that we have coming up this fall and winter. We still have seats at the early enrollment rate for all of them. And our courses will lead you through the ICF requirements for full on recognition as a professional coach in the market. So I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna stay on and answer any questions you might have. If you're like me, your questions come after. So we have another info session. It's called Coach Training 101. Of course, it's for free, and the next one's happening on June the 29th at 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock. So if you have more questions, you can register for that event. If you would rather have a one-on-one call directly with me, just put your email address in our chat, and somebody from the team will get back to you to schedule a call with me, and then we can have a one-on-one and I can answer any questions that you have. Okay, so I am going to just show you real quick. If you'd like to follow us on LinkedIn, this is the QR code for our company page. And this is where many of our past participants are members, our faculty members are members. I'm there. And we like to keep the conversation going with regards to coaching and coaching culture. Okay, so time for questions. Let me go ahead and turn off my screen, and I am happy to answer anything that might be on your mind.